Hey, how you guys doing? I'm back, Lex. So another great game. I'm gonna say. I think it's a great game in the T54 Tier X Killer. I'm rating this Tier Six, or I'm sorry, 6 stars. I'm rating this 6 stars. You might disagree with me, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that that this tank pretty much has a little bit of everything that I love in a tank, which is a little bit of armor, great turret, and a good gun that's accurate. That's what I love about this tank. It's speed too, which you need. You have to have speed. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and just turn it over to Steve. So this isn't a really long video. We've never looked at this and looked at the actual effective armor of this tank. We're also going to show you where the ammo rack is, and if you were playing this tank, this is pretty much not a good angle, but it is the side of the tank that you would want to show. So go ahead and take it away, Steve.
Alright, so I am Steve, and we are going to go over the armor. So let's cover ammo rack first. So the ammo rack and shield tank are located in the front of this vehicle. You might ask why would you want to do that, and that is because fluid will actually add more millimeters to your armor. I mean, because fluid will actually act as an armor. That is my air conditioner, so do not worry. I'm not being attacked by aliens. So it has some uber weak points, as you can see here. These are the not actually added in yet, but you can see here that this is pretty weak. So when shooting this vehicle, if you were to actually pin right here, you can ammo rack this with 120 millimeter or 122 millimeters equivalent. Now, so if we were to zoom in, right here is where the ammo rack is located. So you basically do not want to give the passenger side of this, and you definitely do not want to give them that angle. You would want to be angling always this way and not this way, because the chances of them pinning it, the idea is to protect this area of your vehicle, which makes this thing, it does have an extreme training curve. Now, when IBICO gave this 6 stars, he wasn't actually comparing it with any known mediums that he knows. For him, it is a tier 6, it's a rated 6, because it's one of his best tier 9s mediums that he's played so far. So in the future, he may lower this rating down, for instance, if he goes down the OBJ, where the turret is actually located in the rear, which makes that thing an ultimate side scraper. But he himself has gone up against that tank with this, and was forced to use heat rounds, but did win battles, so does think this is a better tank. So going over all the specifications, we are looking at the M variant, which means if you're going for the OBJ 120, or 140 is it? Let's see which one is it. 140. The OBJ 140. If you're going for the OBJ 140, you're going to want to get the M variant gun. If you're going the other way, you're not going to have too much fun with the other gun. It makes you brawl with other tanks. Going to go ahead and show you that just a little bit here in a second. Let's look at the effective armor of this vehicle. So about 200 millimeters worth of armor, depending on how tall your tank is, but it can lower down to 180, depending on the angle. Now, obviously, angling your vehicle will help. You can see that this has that really good side scraping, but it's only a 205, which means you're basically protecting against tier 7s at this angle heavies. You have to be careful of heavy and TDs. Other mediums you can go head-to-head with, which is amazing. And if you look at the turret, it is absolutely uber strong, as you can see, and it does have weak hatches. The problem with these hatches is that they do require for most tier 7s, or even tier 8s, to use APCR rounds, and of course from range, incredibly difficult to shoot. Yeah, that is a very hard shot, even with .30 accuracy, but up close, be careful. So side tracks give you 20 armor extra, as you can see. This is something I don't believe is on console, because I've actually shot this before and it did not do much damage, so it may not exist, and it would be very hard to hit. But you can see that there are weak points to this tank that are weaker than others, as you can see. This is actually that's actually the kill shot there. You shoot it here in the track, and you can track him and pin his hull, and you don't get the benefit of that 80 millimeter plate. So that's all the armor that we can look at. To make this video very short, we're just going to go over the bare minimum essentials, which is penetration 201 on AP rounds, heat rounds, so high explosive anti-tank, 330 pin with a 320 damage, 50 pin penetration with 420. IBICO likes to use the high explosives on artillery and then ram the artillery, and usually successful unless he has low hit points. Here you go, DPM, damage per minute, reload time in-game, stock. Although most people don't need coated optics, it has 390 meters. IBICO uses the coated optics to give himself 30 meters of view range over a stock tier 10. Now obviously against other medium tanks at tier 10, this goes out the window, they'll spot you beforehand, but this does add, increases your survivability significantly. Maneuverability, accuracy, .34. The elevation is 20. Gun depression is 2 forward, 5 right and left. 56 forward, and it will actually do 56 on flat ground. 20 in reverse. 1650 hit points. We've looked at the armor. 12% chance of engine fire. That is all the armor. That is everything that we need to know about this tank. To show you guys the differences between the M variant and the B variant, you can see here pretty clearly that the accuracy, you can plus 38 onto the accuracy, so it's 38 accurate. So it's 2.90 seconds or 2.80 seconds, depending on how you want to look at it. Everything gets nerfed up a little bit when you use the it might be the D variant. I believe it is the B variant, though. Anyway, this is Steve, and I'm going to go ahead and just toss it over to Ivy Eichel.
Way to go, Steve. Man, I think that would probably take me about, let's say, pretty sure it would have took me about 9 minutes. But Steve, because he talks so fast, and he can do it in three-quarters of the time, so 6 minutes. It's a lot of information. I haven't actually ever put this under the microscope like that. But I was curious to why it was so effective, and knowing that the little toolboxes don't really count for anything may actually be wrong. I've looked at this tank and it shows red for me. When I look at it, it shows up as red, so it might be a fake place to hit. I guess a troll plate, but maybe I'm actually detecting the tracks when I do it. So as you can see, the speed of this vehicle means I'm leading the charge, and with the coated optics on here and using the M variant, and knowing that I probably will have to use heat rounds, you can see that I'm actually keeping quite a bit of them. 12 heat rounds. I actually have used up to 20 heat rounds before, but I will say they did pay for themselves. Now you guys might ask, what the hell am I doing over here? I'm actually over here because this map's been completely changed. Where we're sitting right now used to be a mountain pass where you get up on top and you could shoot down on everybody, but it no longer exists. Now there's a village here, which is actually what the PC version has, kind of. The PC version is completely flat, and there's basically a place where all the heavies go, and you can see that we're almost in the spawn now. I take a shot from I don't know what that is. I can't actually read it. Doesn't really matter. Really close to hitting my ammo rack, seriously. I'm actually lucky he didn't hit something vital like my motor or something. So no module damage, which is good. You can see here I've got 3 detections, now 4. So just think about that. The Motherland is actually blind. It has 350 meters of view. 360, I think. It gives you, if you get coated optics on that, you can see 396 meters. This one can see 436 meters with coated optics, which is why Steve recommends them. So keeping your front plate towards people and having that 20 kilometers backwards, as you can see, is very effective for maneuvering around and getting out of position. Some of the things you have to do sometimes is kind of give that ammo rack area, but you'll see whenever I can, I do not give the ammo rack side of my tank. It's actually kind of surprised here that this little area here is enclosed. It should keep me give me defilation from artillery. There's a building in front of me. Be very hard to hit. Now watch the accuracy of this gun. So no coated optics, or sorry, with coated optics and no was it assisted aimer. None of that on here, and it's perfectly fine for the way that we're using it. So I'm actually, it's kind of funny. What I'm trying to do is trying to get this guy's attention. I also want to side scrape. I'm trying to trick him into shooting me on the side so that I can then shoot his hatch, which I probably wouldn't be able to do, to be honest. Knowing that artillery is just waiting, I'm just trying to keep these guys detected now. So getting some target spotted hits, which I'm not actually getting. So I decide to pop around the corner, and I see that the E75 does not care about me. He's actually only cares about the Motherland, which I'm going to go ahead and say has a troll turret. You're going to see here, this is a kind of a, like I said, this is a very good game because without me, the cap would have probably been lost. So this is kind of an odd thing. Now you guys watch this and you tell me. I'm using standard. Did you see the standard bouncing? So it's one of those things where it's like armor reliability at range with tanks that have 76 millimeters. It's fine with 200 pin, but up close, that's why the heat rounds come in. Bouncing the side of that and missing the kill is why I actually am going to switch to heat rounds here in a second, because I'm not really feeling that RNG is with me, if that makes any sense, and that is random number generator. I'm going to first try and get some more spots here. So we got some more detections, but they had already been detected, so we did not get any credit for them. but we are keeping them detected for the other people, especially the artillery, which is very important to kill him. Seriously, more important than even the Wolfenträger, because yeah. So keeping them detected, even though I'm being detected, is very vital. So we know there's a Wolfenträger over there. I can't wait till they remove it. But to be all honest, the last 2 weeks, I have been not really too happy with the PC version. These ×3 weekends really lets me feel, I'll just say it makes me feel like I don't know how to play the game, because I run into people that either they're just using straight APCR, or they just know all the weak points of your tank, or maybe they're working in platoons. So I probably am going to be releasing a video here, or I might have already released it, with somebody that I've been playing PC with. So kind of weird, it's kind of funny, we have the same armor, but because of my turret weight, I'm actually heavier than him. I actually checked it to make sure that when I rammed him, I was going to do more damage to him than to myself. Now, I was detected for a second. I get detected again by people to the left. And you can see here, I'm closing that distance really quick against the worst tank you could possibly run into. You can see my only hope is to use my speed. Repaired my track. I need to get my hull towards him. He hits me in my ammo rack. Almost ammo racks me. It's funny because this whole time that there's a guy commenting, if you look, he's talking. And he's just basically, saying, why am I backing up? Why am I going forward? It's because the turrets the turret hatches can be pinned up close, especially when the tank's taller. I've actually had bad experiences with that tank, so keeping moving will keep me alive a lot longer. So we own this. I will say too that the heat rounds were mentioned and how many I was using, which I actually am going to go ahead and say affirmative, and that is because it is essential to use them in certain circumstances. Like for instance, I should have 3 kills in this game. If I would have switched to heat rounds for the kill shots, I would have gotten the 3 kills. I will say though that I do think that this game, without this particular tank in it, would have been lost. Possibly would have been lost, because I did give those guys those detections. I was able to close the distance like a light tank, even though we didn't have any light tanks, and I was using this for multiple roles. Like I said, I just used it as a heavy before. I was using it as a medium tank to close the distance, and a light tank to spot, and a TD. You'll see here I'm going to even get some other stuff, which the speed of this vehicle enables me to, and its low profile stature, getting detected is less common. It's just a very fun tank. I will say the learning curve of this tank is incredibly long. I'm working on 300,000 XP on this right now, seriously, that I've earned. I unlocked the M variant and the B variant gun, and now I need another 40,000 XP before I can get the OBJ 140. But once I do, it's going to be awesome. Anyway, I thought this was a really mentionable game that showed that how versatile this tank really is, which is, it's got a little bit of everything. Is it as good as the OBJ? I've gone head to head with the OBJ back-turned tank and won most of the time. I don't know if maybe the guy just didn't know how to use it, but in my personal opinion, this is the best Soviet medium tank out of them at tier 9. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Comment, like, and subscribe. And of course, thumbs up if you guys like Steve, and thumbs down if you do not like Steve. And of course, have a good one. Later.